Today we want to talk about bold predictions. We want to talk about bold predictions. A lot of people coming into this season were talking about, oh my goodness, what are we going to do on the defensive side of the ball? Alabama could be in trouble. Alabama's going to have to replace all of these stars. I think 7 guys on defense. What is Alabama going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you what Alabama's going to do. Alabama and Jeremy Pruitt is going to be better than they were last year. So my first bold, flat-out prediction with no caveat. I've been given a caveat, James. I've been kind of a little scared to say it. I've been saying they have the talent to be better. The more I think about it, this defense will be a better defense. They may not have as many turnovers. They could, but this defense will be better than last year's defense. And last year's defense was like historically good. But I'm saying that Nick Saban, once again, will figure out how to put a better defense on the field than he has year after year after year. And I think part of that goes to the defensive coordinator. And what do I mean by that? Jeremy Pruitt has taken the same talent that Kirby had, and we loved ourselves some Kirby Smart. But Kirby was not an aggressive play caller. We had all those horses, but we kind of played it, close to the vest and just dominated you. But Kirby was not as aggressive. Jeremy Pruitt, not only does he have talent galore, he also has the talent, the aggressiveness, and the combination of those with a ball control offense. When all of those come together, I think it adds up to Alabama defense being better than it was last year. Jeremy Pruitt, aggressive play caller. Jeremy Pruitt, with the talent that Alabama has, combined with Dable's offense, this defense is going to be better. I'd love to hear your thoughts. 205-342-9904, or you can post on Facebook. What are your thoughts when it comes to the statistics of this defense? Let me tell you another reason. Jay, I don't think we really think about this. This is the 7th year. This team right now has every player on this team from a scholarship standpoint was part of a number 1 recruiting class, right? But that's not only the most impressive part. The other part is they all, from the time they were freshmen, have been competing in practice against what? Number 1 recruiting classes. So with this 7th class, that means you go back to the guys who are seniors. When they came here, they were freshmen, and the other 3 classes before them were number 1 recruits. So that's what they've been competing against every single week. Deshaun Handy, number 1 recruit in the nation, had to compete for a job against a number 1 recruiting class. Okay? And everybody below him. That's why this defense, you don't understand what competition does.
So, in other words, too, when you lose all of those players, well, yes, you're going to lose an impact somewhere with losing a lot of the Jonathan Allen and Marlon Humphrey and Reuben Foster types, and we could go all throughout that defense. But on the flip side, you got the Rashaan Evanses and a lot of those others that have the opportunity to make a name for themselves, build kind of their own individual identities within that team defense. So I guess you're kind of telling us not to discount that as well.
Well, think about this. Houston had a freshman lineman come in, right? First 5-star player to ever commit to Houston. He came in as a freshman and dominated. Okay? Was immediately ready to play. Why do we act like we say this about Alabama and we don't understand that these guys were ready to play as well? They just had to wait their turn. And we got 4 classes. Like, we have 4 classes of players like that, where Houston only had 1. And this guy dominated, whether he played Power 5 or the smaller schools. I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to be more physical. Now, does that mean that they're a more physical group, or that the play calling is going to allow them to play downhill? And I think it's probably the second one. The play calling is going to allow this group to play downhill and play more to their strength. There's times when we line up in, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends, and even a 3 tight end set, which means, and I'm not talking about just in goal line. I'm talking about in the middle of the field. And so I think the play calling is going to allow for this to happen. My that's a mouthful. Bowl prediction poll regarding Rashaan Evans. I have gone on record as saying Rashaan Evans will win the Butkus Award in 2017. Well, I'm not the only one that went on record saying that. But Saturday scrimmage backed up what I'm thinking and what he was thinking. Jimmy Stein, who's a regular guest on the Aaron Suttle show, also had similar thoughts. I'd like to still get your thoughts on the poll, so go out to at Tide 1029 FM and agree or disagree with me on that bold prediction. We're going to hear from Jimmy Stein talking about, Aaron was talking to him about Rashaan Evans, and this is what Jimmy Stein had to say.
Yeah, one glaring difference that isn't better or worse, it's just different, is against the pass. Reuben, playing inside linebacker, was very, very good at Alabama at dropping into coverage and having some responsibilities in pass coverage in that shallow zone. He was really good at it, and he has excelled early on in 49ers camp. It seems like making 1 or 2 interceptions per day in 49ers camp. Rashaan, replacing Reuben in the lineup, but he's going to be a little different because on third down, I don't see him dropping into coverage so much as rushing the passer. And I'll be honest, when Rashaan Evans in the offseason said, I'm going to win the Butkus Award, I sort of laughed. I thought, the kid that we have seen so far in the games is a promising player, but to say I'm going to be the best linebacker in college football, I thought was like, man, he's going to wish he didn't say that down the road. But maybe Rashaan should be the one laughing, because he's had a great fall camp, and I'll tell you what he's going to do, Aaron. He's going to rack up some Reuben Foster-type numbers playing in the middle of the field on first and second down. But if he can have a double-digit sack season on third down to go along with the tackles, it's just filling the stat sheet like he's going to do, playing in the box on most downs, I'm telling you, you put the combination of a 5-star recruit, mega production at Alabama, playing for Coach Saban, playing for an 11 or 12-win team, maybe Rashaan is going to be holding that trophy. He's certainly capable.
And I agree with Jimmy Stein. Once again, that was Jimmy Stein on with Aaron Suttles of the Suttles Approach, which airs from 12 to 2 right here every day on Tide 1029. I agree with him that I believe he will be holding that trophy, and he will have every opportunity to do so. He's a capable 3-down linebacker from the middle. But what he's going to do, James, think about this. If he can play that middle linebacker on first and second down, be the alpha dog. Let me tell you, from the scrimmage Saturday, everybody's asking about leadership. Even Josh Kemp said, hey, the big thing is going to be the leadership. Well, Reuben Foster has already begun to exert himself. Rashaan Evans has already begun to exert himself as the replacement for Reuben Foster as that alpha dog in that front seven. I don't think there's any question he's going to be able to handle that role of leadership. He has another year of playing the inside linebacker position. He's playing a lot more natural. Last year, he was thinking a lot because he was unsure of himself. Now his athletic ability is coming through on the field without a doubt. You may not know that in Saturday scrimmage, he had an interception for probably a 35, 40. I don't remember exactly, the length of the return, but he had to be tackled to stop from scoring. He acted like he knew what he was doing when he got the ball. And then he also had a fumble for a touchdown, and he took the ball. He took the ball and ran a touchdown. So, and that's not to count what he was doing with the tackling and leading the defense. So, Reuben Foster will be missed, but not long. Because I'm telling you, Rashaan Evans is the real deal.
Sounds like somebody out there is making himself very active and definitely making his presence known as far as the scrimmage that you were talking about from over the weekend.
Yeah, the scrimmage from the weekend. But he's been doing it all fall camp. If you ask Coach Saban, he's one of the guys that Coach Saban has picked out and has mentioned. So I'm going out that he's going to be that alpha dog. And a lot of people were saying when Sean Dion Hamilton was not picked first team, that it was disrespect for him. No, Rashaan Evans being picked was respect for Rashaan, because Rashaan Evans is learning to play the position, and he's only going to get better. And the reason I think he gets the Butkus Award is he might be the first player potentially to lead his team in tackles and sacks at the exact same time under this Nick Saban era. Because I believe if they use him, because they're going to use him some in that third down to go get after the passer. And if you go back and watch that Clemson game, the two most, to me, in that first game against Clemson, the two guys who did not play enough in game number 1 against Clemson was Deshaun Hand and Rashaan Evans. Go back, if you get a chance, go back and watch when those two young guys were on the field. They were disruptive. And they had Rashaan playing that spy position, and he played it to a T. But now he is the man in the middle, and I think he's going to live up to the hype that he gave himself and that I'm putting on him, I guess, with the bold prediction that Rashaan Evans, I'm going on the record, James, Rashaan Evans will hoist the Butkus Award and possibly another national defensive player. So if he wins that, you would assume that he'd have the SEC Defensive Player of the Year as well. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to live up to the hype. That's Rashaan Evans, the 5-star, originally from Auburn, Alabama, doing some really good things here in Tuscaloosa. Looking forward to making this wait to be the alpha dog all worth the wait, and we'll get to see that on display game 1 right off the bat